I believe at that moment Puffy was terrified for his life. I think that he was afraid because all of the things that had gone out and about that party, they were singling him out, and I don't think that he thought he was going to survive it.
Al B. Sure shook up the internet when he revealed shocking information about who was really behind Angie Stone's death and her mysterious connections to a white cult right before she passed away. Angie wasn't just a big name in music, she was one of the first people to recognize Diddy's dark side. She even helped him overcome some of his demons, but he quickly fell back into his old ways. What makes everything so suspicious is that Angie died just days after she planned to sue Universal Music Group for stealing millions from her over the years. Now, I'm not saying Universal was directly involved in her death, but the timing is definitely raising eyebrows. Al B. sure isn't staying quiet about any of this. He's sharing everything, including text messages where Angie was telling him all sorts of secrets. Looking at all the evidence, it really seems like our beautiful sister was taken from us before her time. As most of you already know, Angie tragically lost her life while returning from a performance when her car suddenly flipped over multiple times. The accident left her and some crew members with terrible injuries. From what we understand, Angie was still alive after the initial crash and was desperately trying to free herself from the wreckage. But then something truly suspicious happened. A truck appeared out of nowhere and crashed into her already flipped car while she was still trapped inside. This second impact is what ultimately took her life. And here's the strangest part. Out of everyone involved in the accident, Angie was the only one who didn't survive. I don't usually buy into conspiracy theories, but what are the chances that she'd experienced two freak accidents within minutes of each other and she's the only one who died? The circumstances leading up to that night make everything even more questionable, making many wonder if this was truly an accident or a calculated attack to silence her forever. You see, right before she died, Angie was preparing to sue Universal Music Group after discovering they had allegedly been stealing her royalties for years. We're not talking about a few $100s here, we're talking about at least $1 million over several decades. And Angie wasn't planning to let this slide. She claimed she could have retired 20 years ago if Universal hadn't been taking her money. Because she wasn't receiving what she deserved, she had to keep working well into her later years. It's heartbreaking to think that on the very day she died, she was coming back from a show. Angie had no business making those long overnight trips or being on the road at 4 a.m., but that's what she was forced to do to survive since they were stealing all her money.
A lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. But they have taken all the monies that were due to me, people that were working on my behalf, never even registered the songs, all the songs that I've done. I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there that they're in the driver's seat for, they're supposed to make sure you're taken care of. So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, if they're filthy rich on it, what's our problem? And that's why I'm telling on Universal and all the people that y'all work with me, y'all know who you are. You've been spotted. You've been seen. Your worth is useless to me now because I've seen the data. That's all I'm going to say. I got a team of people, a diesel crew, that's really trying to help me navigate things. And if I never get it, at least you heard it from me, because I don't know what they might do to keep from paying me all the money they owe me.
Did you catch what she just said? She admitted it herself. The reason she was making that video and sharing this information was because she didn't know what they might do to avoid paying her the money she was owed. And just a few days later, she dies in a strange accident at 4 a.m. while everyone else in the same crash somehow survives except her. Something doesn't add up here, and it's not just Diddy's scandalous parties, but there's even more to this story. Shortly before her death, Angie revealed she was experiencing a spiritual attack that caused a blood infection. This infection was so severe that it landed her in the hospital, literally fighting for her life. If it weren't for prayers, she would have left us even sooner than she did.
I knew it was an attack. I knew it was a spiritual attack on me. However, I was treated, and God healed me, cleared up. They cleared up the blood infection.
When Angie first mentioned this infection, she didn't share many details, but after she passed away, Al B. Sure made a post revealing the truth about what really happened. Based on what he shared, it seems like this infection might have been the industry's first attempt to get rid of her. Many people weren't happy with Al involving himself in this situation, but not because he was exposing the industry. They were upset about how he did it. He made what was supposed to be a tribute post to Angie, but in the caption, he shared transcripts of their private text messages. These messages contained extremely personal issues that the public had no business knowing about. His post started as a normal tribute saying, "I can't really gather my own thoughts at the moment to say anything close to describing the profoundly brave and amazing woman my sister star Angie Stone was, so I'll just let Angie say it to you all in our last text to each other." After this introduction, he posted those private conversations, which is when people started criticizing him. The messages began with Angie writing, "Hey hun, it's Angie Stone reaching out to, please give me a call ASAP. Lot of stuff happening regarding this transplant situation. I have 2 possible donors, but they are discriminating against blacks now. It's been 5 years." Al replied, "Hey there, Queen. Great to hear from you. I'm on the plane and will touch base with you as soon as I touch down." In her next message, Angie brought up Diddy and expressed how happy she was that he was finally being exposed after years of Al trying to warn everyone about him. She also mentioned Kim Porter, suggesting that she was somehow helping to expose Diddy from beyond. Her message read, "Call me when you get a moment to chop it up with me. I've been praying hard for you ever since all this foolishness you've been saying for years finally been exposed and he's going down. I didn't realize just how much craziness you had actually gone through, and it's so unfortunate. Now that I'm praying for you and supporting you on everything that you got going on, I pray that your son Quincy and yourself lock horns again and he walks away from that whole ratchet situation, as the whole world knows he deserves to be with his biological father at this time. I know that Kim is resting in paradise. She was born a couple of days before me, so I know her spirit well. I know how she rolled, and I can assure you that she's been the one assisting you from the other side. Be blessed and know that I'm here for you no matter what. Peace and blessings, King." It's incredible that Angie mentioned Diddy, because just before she died, she also revealed major information about how Diddy came running to her for prayers because he feared for his life after that whole scandal involving Shine and J-Lo.
I just happened to be in the studio this particular day, and because he never ever really bothered with me or spoke to me in that fashion, I wasn't a part of Uptown, I was just at MCA. On this particular day, I was coming off the elevator. I will never forget it as long as I live. And Puffy came to me, first time, speaking to me as a decent human being. And he said, "Hey, Miss Stone." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine. I'm shocked you speaking to me." He said, "Miss Stone, would you please pray with me?" I said, "Well, of course." When he asked me to pray with him, I believe at that moment Puffy was terrified for his life. I think that he was afraid because all of the things that had gone out and about that party, they were singling him out, and I don't think that he thought he was going to survive it. And I was just happy that whenever he didn't speak to me, I knew he couldn't see me. But on this day, he saw the God in me, which was so not about me, but it was so about the spirit that I carried.
Angie was deeply connected to many things, and some believe she was eliminated because she knew too much. In fact, she was even linked to a rumored occult sorority group called Zeta Phi Beta. People didn't even know she was associated with them until they posted about her after her death. It's unclear why she joined them, but some claim she connected with this group to protect herself from multiple attempts on her life by industry insiders. Sadly, if the rumors are true, that protection wasn't enough because they still got to her. As expected, people had their own theories about what happened. One person commented, "Angie Stone's passing is literally Left Eye from TLC all over again. A tragic car crash that flipped over and being the one and only fatality. Just eerie, tragic, and unfortunate." Another person said, "Puff, being a narcissist, knew that she was the only one that would have empathy for him because of her spirituality. Like she said, he never paid her any attention before. He knew she had a beautiful gift of singing, but he wasn't going to tell her about it. He was simply being an energy vampire as usual. She comes off as an earth angel, attracting a lot of narcs." Now I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Angie's sudden death? Do you believe some people in the industry had a hand in it? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.